Euro 2020 has got to the semi-final stage, and Dave, England are still there. 4-0 victory over Ukraine. It was easy for them, wasn't it?
Yeah. As I said it to me dad earlier on, like if this was Italy or Germany, we'd be saying it's classic tournament football by them doing what's needed to be done to get to where they are. So I know the English have been a little bit kind of concerned about some of their play and being boring, and of course a lot of Irish are digging the hit, but in fairness, as regards tournament play, they're hitting every note at the moment and they're peaking at the right time, and obviously they made light work of it last night. 2 great goals right at the start of the game and then right at the start of the second half to really kind of burst the bubble. But overall, when you look at all 5 games together, they're tipping along nicely. No one's really sticking out in a bad way. They're all playing well. Anyone that's coming on is impressing. Henderson came on and played a half an hour last night, and nice headache now. Will he split the two, or will he keep the Rice and Phillips? But overall, as I said, if you put them in the blue of Italy or the white and black of Germany, we'd be all very impressive, saying typical Italian Germans doing what they do, very efficient, very matter of fact, and very, very non-England. Look, very solid, very solid. 5 in a row now. I think it's Lineker said last night. I think it's only been done once, and I think it was Italy back in 1990. So very efficient, which is not something we usually say when it comes to England.
Yeah. Dave, when you look at the Harry Kane, Jose Mourinho came out during the week and he says when he got that first goal, he said he's going to finish on more goals than Raheem Sterling. It's just that thing about strikers' confidence. And Harry knocks in 2 in the next game, albeit you can't really say too much about the defending from Ukraine. I thought it was pretty abysmal. And I think gave England more of a glossier look on their performance because I thought they were very, very poor. But Harry Kane's off the mark, and it shows you if he gets the service, he can score goals.
Yeah, sure. There's no denying it. Like, everything's shooting from the hip when it comes to tournament football. Sure, England were the worst team ever once they drew with Scotland. Anyone who wasn't English just were delighted to stick the knife in that night. And now I'd love to hear their opinions change now about them, which no doubt they have. But Harry Kane, like anyone else, like I think it was Shearer said it because he was the same before '96. He hadn't scored in 14 or 15 games. He said, "Trust me, once it comes, that's it. It opens up the kind of the floodgates." And in fairness, it was good old-fashioned simple goals, like from the wing. And Luke Shaw has been, obviously they must have picked on the left because between himself and Sterling, they got a lot of joy. Obviously Sterling's first goal came in off the left and put it into for Kane, and then Shaw set up 2 of them. So everything was coming in from that side, and that's where the weakness came from because Walker was quite quiet on the far side in relation to creating chances. But yourself, any striker worth their salt, and Kane is as good a finisher as anyone out there. It's just a case of putting him in the right place at the right time, and he'll bury it because he hasn't exactly been missing sitters. So I don't think anyone worth their salt who kind of knows a bit about the game would have been too worried about his confidence.
Yeah. Neil, I wrote an article during the week saying that born England could go all the way and win Euro 2020. Nothing really has changed my mind. Even though they scored 4 goals last night, I thought it was a very weak Ukrainian team. And what I meant by boring was they've set themselves up not to concede goals. That's working out absolutely perfectly. It'll be interesting to see. Again, they've got a good draw again through to the final. Interesting to see against the likes of Italy, if Italy get to the final. Not so much Spain, because I think Spain are a little weaker this time. I expect Italy to go through, but you never know. But England seem to have the game plan. They've made it sure not going to concede goals. We're not really going to create chances. There's some stats up there. Most attempts on goal. You can see Italy there, 101, Spain 95, Denmark 90. England are on 38. So they're not creating the chances, but they're not letting in goals, and that gets you to tournament finals.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's just slow and steady pace. I think Southgate, for anyone that would have had doubts about him, or maybe when you would have gone up against what I would say a higher quality of manager, maybe he could be found out or there could be some issues going on there. But he's absolutely playing a blinder. He doesn't seem to be listening to the press. He's not getting sucked in, and he refused to get sucked in on the Sancho, Grealish, Foden scenario when they wanted to make a big deal that the superstars weren't playing. Like, we've watched a lot of England over the last few decades, and their biggest issue when they had the last kind of generation, your Scholes, your Lampards, your Gerrards, was that they tried to compensate and fit them all onto the same pitch. And my God, it's like Southgate has learned from that, and he is not having any of it. Like, who would have had, even in our pre-predictions, Declan Rice and Phillips sitting in front of the back too. Now, you knew he was going to play that system because that's the way he's set up. But I think he's been very, very clever that he identifies through Foden, through Sterling, that they've got goals in them. And if they just sit and wait, that kind of Leicester City counter-attack style, maybe even Spurs counter-attack style, he's identified something that he's brought into the camp this tournament. And it's absolutely working a treat. They're not squandering any chances. Sterling and Kane have been absolutely lethal when they've got their chances. And yeah, everything is looking really, really well for them, especially with the other some of the other countries getting knocked out so early, the likes of France.
This semi-final, Neil, against Denmark could be a dire game altogether. I'm nearly foreseeing the worst game of the tournament. Denmark are set up well defensively. England are set up well defensively. I mean, I suppose it could come out and bite me in the arse and be a 3-3 thriller, but I'm not expecting it.
No, I wouldn't. And I don't think that at any stage Southgate is going to kind of take the shackles off and say, right, lads, let's go with these. He could have done it against Ukraine because, as you were saying, they're a very poor side, Ukraine. Even Sweden in the previous round against Ukraine, till they got the man sent off, looked a better football inside, or at least a more entertaining side. This is more or less probably their first proper test now. With no disrespect to Germany, they just didn't have that about them in this tournament, Germany. But this will be a really good challenge for them. And again, I can just see them sitting there because they know sooner or later when you put Sterling and Kane up against the back line in Denmark, they're eventually going to carve open one chance. And that's all they seem to need this tournament is one chance.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot, Neil. England, Denmark, who goes through?
Do you know what? I hope that they concede a goal because I'm tired of a clean sheet and a boring clean sheet. It'd be nice to see them concede early, but I could still, even if they concede early, I can still see England going up another gear. I think they're just timing it right to hit the peak. And yeah, England are going to see it through maybe 2-1, 3-1, something like that.